What's going on, everybody? What is going on? It is Monday, February 3rd, 2025, and we're back with another live here on the Tori and Bring Me Little channel. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, and if you are new, I'm glad that you are here. Hit the bell twice to be notified whenever I upload a new video or go live, or simply join the Discord, and you will definitely get notified in there. I hope everybody is doing well. Y'all see the title? Yep, we are going there today. I kind of gave y'all a warning last week about what the lives this week was going to entail. And here we are, and here's how we're kicking the week off. But before we get into it, let me see who is here in the chat so far. We got Irving Green, SD Johnson, Tildog 12, Lord GXK, Wallow J, Jerome, Panther Strike, Miss Nisi, Gamers Den, Reparations Nations, Mika 40, Neo Panther, Don P, Kingdom of Garbin, The Cynical One, Tamika's Den, Rokumuro, NP7, Doc Spencer, and let's see, Brother Man to you just came in here as well. Okay, cool. And Harley Lynn. All right. So as y'all know, I've talked about Brandon Fakum, as I like to call him, several times over the years on my channel. He's actually one of the first people to get the infinity symbol on my bed bucket inch Hall of Shame thumbnails when I used to count the parts and how many times they would get in there, but I stopped counting. But just know that that guy earned that infinity symbol because of how many entries he's had over the time since I've been doing these. But it's been a while since the last time I actually spoke about him in a video or in a live stream. And someone who I'm subscribed to, and the way I ended up subscribing to him was because of a video that they did talking about the subject matter that I talked about last week. It was the last week or the week before, involving that Michelle Bishop chick coming to that black man's home and basically being a disrupting Karen. And everybody, for the most part, was calling her out for what she did, as they rightfully should. However, there was one individual, and I do mean one, that was willing to give her all types of benefits of the doubt. And that is the subject matter in which we're going to be discussing today. And shout out to Panther Strike for becoming a member of the channel. I greatly appreciate it. So what I did was I ended up, I downloaded the video that he did. And the video that you're going to see is him talking about the camera, like the footage that we all saw. But I took out that part because it would have made the video longer than what it is. So all I left was his commentary. And I want you to see the massive astronomical cape that he throws on for this woman who was clearly in the wrong. And mind you, this video, if anyone should care or choose to want to go over there and look at the comments, his audience was going in on him about it, all the way to the point where he had to start doing follow-up videos to get his audience back on track about this. But you'll see what I mean as we get more into the video of what I'm talking about. But let's go ahead now. And by the way, this is almost like a reaction style video, so there will be points and times where I'm going to stop and give my commentary on a lot of the dumb stuff he's going to say in here. As you already know, for those who are familiar with his content, already knows how he gets down.
I get it. I know what people are going to say. But why does it always have to be about race? Every single time a black person is perceived to be a victim in something and a white person is a perpetuator in theory, it's always got to be a racist encounter when it comes to black people. Why can't it just be the fact that this woman was afraid of this man because of his actions?
Now, let's just unpack what he just said right there, because I think what some people do when they do videos is they'll take a clip from somewhere in the video and they'll put it in the beginning to like kind of lure people into what they're going to say, and then they go into the actual intro of the video, which I think is what he did here. He said, why do people always have to make it about race? If y'all saw the title that he gave the video for this, we could ask him the same thing. We could ask him the exact same thing, because the way he titled that video, he made sure to mention that it was a white woman and that it was a black man. He could have left the white and black part out, but he didn't. So he right there contradicted himself. Y'all can go over this, if, like I said, if y'all choose to do so. You can go over there and look for yourself and see that right there. But like I said, every time he talks about anything that involves black people and white people in particular, he's always going to take the side of the white person, even when they're clearly wrong. And don't let them be a cop, because he's going to really go in. That's what got him in trouble with the Tyree Nichols thing, even though those cops were black. But because they were cops, he was still on their side. And because the victim was a black man, he was definitely all in on their side. That's why I question how this man was when he was a cop. Keep this in mind. He resigned. And usually when cops resign or they do their own resignation like that, that's usually something that they did that caused them to resign. But no one ever questions, dude, what did you do to resign from being a cop? And then you listen to how he talks and whose side he's always on. And you wonder in the back of your mind, maybe in the front of your mind, this guy was probably so dirty when he was on the force. He just better hope. I'm telling you right now, his biggest wake-up call is if they turn on him so badly that they start uncovering his files and put it out there for the world to see. After that, there's no coming back from that. Exactly, NP7. You said he put quote unquote white mom in the title, but you said, why did you make it about race? You literally just did in your title of the video. And shout out to Doc Spencer for becoming a member of the channel. I appreciate it. Jones Family League, he said he was not. Yes, Brandon said no. Brandon used to be a cop. Why do you think they keep calling him Officer Tatum, which annoys me because he hasn't been a cop in years. He's not an active cop. That's just like when it came to David Clark. They called him Sheriff Clark for so long, but when he wasn't the sheriff anymore, people were still calling him Sheriff Clark, like he just loved that title. Patricia said he probably saw a lot of bad things happen to black men. I would believe that, but how could you say that when you hear the stuff? Listen to what he's about to say in here. No one who's not disparaging your comment or anything, but anyone who acts like this, how he does, and talks the way he talks, no, this guy definitely was doing their bidding. You can't tell me otherwise.
To the channel, y'all know what to do. Let's get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, I just had to make this. I'm in DC, enjoying my time.
Oh Lord, he was close by. He was nearby. But I'm willing to bet the reason why he was here was probably most likely because of the inauguration, because this happened, or this video came out around that time.
You see, I'm in a hotel room. My wife is sitting over there watching me make a video for the first time. She's admiring my talents.
Oh God, nigga, just get to the point. No one cares what your wife is doing. He said, my wife is over there. She's admiring my talents. If you call what you're doing talent, then talent must take it on a whole new meaning.
From afar. But I had to make a video about this because I like to call out the shenanigans. So in this clip that you're about to see,
and that's exactly what we're doing here with this video, calling out the shenanigans. You are, sir, are Mr. Shenanigan.
Is allegedly a real estate developer. He's sharing footage on a Ring camera. So I guess this lady is walking down the road. A guy who she don't know pulls up in the truck and say, hey, are you looking for somebody? And it spooks the lady. And right off the bat, he don't say, hey, I live here, I live in the neighborhood or whatever. He started.
See how he just like already with the lies, because we all saw the video. He saw the video, but he saw something else. Already, he has implanted the black guy into the big black boogeyman category already. And mind y'all, I just want to give y'all a heads up for no one who's ever seen Fakum before in action. He's going to buck his eyes quite a bit because he does it all the time. He's like a natural eye bucker.
Doing certain things, she got scared and she ran off. Not one time did the lady mention race at any point in time. If you look at the guy, you couldn't tell if he was black or Mexican.
What? Hold on. Because remember, she said she thought it was a white dude. I remember her saying that. But Fakum, when you look at this dude, you couldn't tell if he was black or Mexican. Granted, the dude is light skinned, but even I knew that he was a black man. At the very least, mixed. But Mexican would have been far from my mind.
And the lady described behaviors that would make somebody afraid. But then when you put the melanin people in a situation, they got to think, oh, it's because she a white woman. I would argue this. Could it be because he was black? Maybe. But it's 2025, 2024. If this happened in the past and they're just reviving it, white people have seen black people be successful. White people are not. People act like we living in the 30s. When white people see black people, they're not shocked that black people are successful. They're not shocked that black people living in the community. They're not shocked.
Actually, a lot of them still are. A lot of them see this guy right here isn't above. And see, I want y'all to put a pin in what he just said right here, because it's something he's going to say towards the end of this video in the direction of his wife. So keep in mind when he says that white people aren't shocked when they see successful black people or black people living in a certain type of neighborhood. First of all, that's still a thing in 2025. That is still very much a thing. All those stairs, especially if you are the only black person there, then you really stand out. But I want y'all to put a pin in what he just said right here, because he's going to say something at the end of the video when he looks over to his wife or acknowledges her.
It's crazy to me. If this woman lived in a community and knew the guy from his truck, then maybe she wouldn't have been afraid of him. But put yourself in her shoes.
No, we don't want to put ourselves in her shoes. Because if I was in her shoes and I was her, I wouldn't even put myself in a position like she did. And again, we're still questioning, why was she out late at night walking around with a baby and a top? Well, I don't know how old the daughter was, but she looked like she was in like maybe toddler, not toddler age, but I had to guess maybe around 3 or 4. Why were you out late at night by yourself walking around the neighborhood like what?
If she see a person in a truck and she think a certain way about it, it's not abnormal to be afraid. Is it goofy? Does it seem silly? In retrospect, yes. But why do black people got to make everything about race?
The guy didn't even bring up about race, though. Like, what video did he watch? I don't know about y'all, but we all watched the video a couple weeks ago. He didn't even bring up the fact that it was a white woman. He knew it was a white woman on his porch. She was the one that brought up race when she said, I thought it was a white guy. So you're going to sit up here and say, why do black people have to bring up race when the black man didn't even bring up her race? But the white woman, you give a pass when she said, oh, I thought it was a white guy. Mind you, y'all, this is the video right here. This video we're going over right here. This is the one where his audience was cooking him in the comments.
To me, it seems like a woman who's hyper afraid of getting attacked by a man, being vulnerable by herself with her daughter, than it is about whether the man is black or not. And
it has nothing to do with that. It's the fact that she showed up on his porch asking him if he lived there. He told her she lived there. I mean, that he lived there. And she says, oh, I don't think you do. And then running around, abandoning her stroller, yelling help like a mad woman on the side of the house.
I feel like black people like lust for this. And
no, here's the thing. No, you lust for it. See, He could not wait to get on. He saw that video and couldn't wait to come on here and make. See, this is bad interpretation. You mean to tell me this dude sat up there, watched the same video all of us watched? For the most part, 99.9% of us all saw the same thing and interpreted the same way, but he's that 0.1% that saw it like this, and he's the 0.1% that put this out there. I promise you, y'all, I haven't seen anybody else do a video like this on this subject matter except him. And I have looked. Even other white content creators, if they got a hold of it, didn't even talk like this. He is the only one that gave her a pass. And when we say we have a cancer within, I present to you Exhibit A.
In the pursuit of trying to expose racism, I think they are being racist in that pursuit. Nobody mentioned race one time. Why can't they just be a silly woman that they look at it now that it's a silly woman, but maybe an afraid woman that just thought the man was something he wasn't? Why it got to be about race?
Again, nobody. See, this is what frustrates me. Remember, y'all, what my biggest pet peeve is when you insult my intelligence, and this Negro is insulting every last bit of my intelligence right now. Again, she was the one that thought he was a white guy. She said it out of her mouth. I thought it was a white guy in the truck. The black guy didn't even mention her being a white woman. And for what reason? He could clearly see that she was a white woman. What's going on? Chris, Crazy House, what's going on? Mad Black in the building. Yes, and he did go hard in the paint. I mean, real hard, to the point where he spawned multiple videos about this to try to cover his tracks for this one. We'll get to that.
I'm gonna play the clip real quick so you can see what I'm saying, and let me know if you think I'm tripping or not.
You are tripping. You have been tripping for the last 3 minutes and 3 seconds.
Every time these videos come across my radar, I look at it and I say, could this be viewed this way? And then I listen to what she described her fears were and his behavior and demeanor initially, and I can see why she may have been afraid.
And why was that, Fakum? Why was that? Because when I look at this guy and when I saw him, he doesn't look like, and no offense to him when I say this, he doesn't look like he is threatening for whatever reason. If anything, Fakum, with the tire that you have on and you being the tall, like kind of big guy that you are, you would be more threatening to anybody than that guy ever could be. You, sir, fit the stereotype. He would probably like to go around saying that he doesn't because of what he says about black people and who he hangs around with and who he's married and procreated with.
Right. Wrote a clip. So you guys watch the video. You know, she seems to be exaggerated in her fears, but at the same time, I mean, the guy did pull up. he said, "I'm driving slow because I was looking at the lights." like that lady know that he lived there. He's looking at lights. You see a guy in a truck and you by yourself, and he's driving slow down the street, and you look back and you're like, "Why is this guy creeping down the street? This is weird. This is odd." Then he rolls the window down and said, "Are you looking for somebody?" Now, and then she asked, "Do you live here?" And of course, if you are, when you add 1 + 1 and you know that equals 2.
He sounded like he was glitching for a second, like he had to think about what 1 + 1 was. Y'all peeped that. He said, "Now if you add 1 + 1, that equals 2." I would attribute that to his football days, but we pulled those stats long ago. It ain't from that. That man barely had any playing time when he was in college. And I think he played in a position where he wasn't even in a position to even be injured like that, even if he did come off the bench.
When a person becomes afraid, why can't people just give people grace and say, "Yeah, that's what happened," and another lady say, "Yeah, that's what happened. I'm sorry." I can imagine, you know.
He's making, like, see how he's just making this story up in his head? Like nothing is clicking whatsoever. I've seen people go off script before, but man, my God, this guy doesn't even have a script. He's trying to do improv at this point.
you a woman out here, you see me driving up, and then I'm creeping, and you don't know I'm creeping because I'm looking at the lights. You think I'm following you. Now you got your mind made up that I'm going to get abducted, and you do that.
Abducted? What? Wait a minute. The woman never even said anything about thinking she was going to get kidnapped. Abducted? Where's this coming from? See what I mean? When I'm talking about when he's making up his own narrative? Abducted? That wasn't even something that was brought up when they finally confronted each other on the porch. Abducted?
It makes sense to me. If the lady mentions somebody's race or something like that, I understand. And I'll say this to the bitter end. I live in an all-white neighborhood.
Oh, you know what? Who's even remotely surprised? And I'm sure he's proud to be there. Now, here's the part where he starts the grandstand. You know what? I live in an all-white neighborhood. No kidding, Brandon, because we know that you would never live around too many black people. And for him, too many black people is just probably one single black person living there. So I'm not surprised by that at all. Color me shocked and surprised.
Nothing but white people. I don't think I've seen a black person. Have you seen a black person in our neighborhood?
Just you.
Just
now look at that. And you see what he just did? He says, I don't even think I've seen another black person in it. Oh, you know what? Let me rewind it again because I want y'all to catch what he did and what he said. And he didn't, and his goofy self didn't even catch it. But I did. He said, I'm the only black person in the neighborhood. Now look at how he addresses that comment towards his wife.
Nothing but white people. I don't think I've seen a black person. Have you seen a black person in our neighborhood?
He says, I think I'm the only black person that lives in the neighborhood. And then he looks over at his wife and says, have you seen a black person in the neighborhood? Peep that he didn't say, have you seen any other black people in the neighborhood? He said, have you seen any black people in the neighborhood? So, Brandon, are you trying to tell us that you ain't black? I caught that. Did anyone else catch that? He didn't say any other black person. He said, have you seen any black person? And also keep in mind, this guy always says, why did black people have to keep bringing up race? This guy speaks from a standpoint as if he's not black himself, and he tries to separate himself from the pack. Well, mindset-wise, he's already separated. Physically, he's already separated. DNA-wise, he can't do that. He probably wishes he could, but it probably irks him that he can't. And he had to go over and ask his wife, was there any black people in the neighborhood? And she says, no, just you. That just shows you he doesn't even know the landscape of his own neighborhood. If he has to ask his white wife, as if she's going around scoping the neighborhood, you know, but that would be funny. What if he was to send his wife out scoping to see if any new neighbors moved in to see if they was black or not?
Just you.
Just me. I got tats all over my arm. I ain't never had nobody say nothing to me. You know why? Because in modern society, even if you saw a black dude with dreads and tats and all that stuff, he could be an athlete. He could be got gold teeth in his mouth. He could live here because he's an athlete. Or somehow he got crypto money or something. Because ain't no businessman got gold teeth in their mouth and stuff. Not that I know. I ain't never seen nobody that's a hedge fund manager or something with gold teeth in their mouth.
What does that have to do with the point of whatever pointless point you're trying to make? What did you have to be mentioning grills and gold teeth and being an athlete? What and tats? What does that have to do with this? Because he's trying to describe himself minus the locks part and the athlete part. I say minus the athlete because he was not that much of an athlete.
But regardless of that, I just think people need to stop trying to see racism and everything. Could she have been racist? Maybe. But also, just because she was afraid of you don't mean it's because you're black. It could be just because you're a man.
Shout out to DSB for the gifting the 5 memberships. Now y'all see why I don't like this dude. Now you see why. And this is another reason why he got cooked in the comments under this video in particular.
How many times will a woman get abducted by another woman? You think she'd act like that if it was a woman in the car? Obviously not. It's only because he was a man. Anyway, y'all comment. Let me know.
So it's not because he was black. It's because he's just a man. That's it, y'all. Fakum done figured it out. He done cracked the Da Vinci Code. That's the reason why. It wasn't because he's a black man. It's because he's a man. Oh, the goofiness never ends.
What you think about it? I just saw the story, and I just more and more I see people posting, "Oh, the racism! Look at this racist white."
So that's why you posted about it, because you saw a lot of people talk about it and address it the way it should be. And this is your counter to it. This is your way of pushing back against the narrative.
I'm like, we need to let that stuff go, man. Unless it's unequivocally true that this lady's being racist.
But here's the thing. He said, let that stuff go. The thing is, every time something like this actually happens and you can see it, he's always there to push back against it. See, he knows that hurts his bottom line. But do you know what? Y'all over here know that this guy is a bastion for bad takes. I mean, with George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, Tyree Nichols, Uvalde. Oh, that was golden right there. When he was talking about Uvalde, they tore him to shreds for a long time, to the point where he ended up having to remove the video. He took the video down because that one struck a nerve for a lot of people, because that was dealing with kids. And he has a lot of other bad takes as well. And and he can add this one to the pile.
Let it go. Because you're just perpetuating a cycle of stuff that didn't even happen. See y'all on the next one.
All right, so that was the end of that. Now, remember how I told you that he got a lot of flack for that video that he did. Now, I'm not going to show any other videos because, like I said, he did about 3 or 4 videos after that, because he had to try to cover himself, because I know he saw them comments and people was tearing him a new one. So what he did was he decided to make another video talking about this, about the guy. And he pulled this up in his, he decided to do his own quote unquote research, and he started to dig into this guy's work history, because, you know, him being a realtor and all of that. So he pulled this up, he put his name in, DaMichael Jenkins, and all types of stuff like that. And he's going through and saying, why are people defending this guy? Because this guy has all these cases that date back to like 2007, and all these foreclosures and stuff like that, and other issues and whatnot. So he's doing that so he can get his audience back on his side. So how do I do this? Let me go find something I can use as quote unquote incriminating against this guy and put it out there so people can see it from my point of view, and why we should not defend this dude. That still does not take away from the fact that this woman went up on his porch and did what she did. And shout out to the church for being a member for 7 months. He said he told her that he lived there, and she ran toward his door screaming, "Anyway, Tater Tots is a clown." Of course he is, a big one. He's wearing them big clown shoes with that big red nose. All he needs is the face paint, which I'm sure he wouldn't mind applying. And he doesn't even know why this stuff was going on. It's probably not even as bad as he's trying to make it out to be. But because his audience was turning on him, he had to go and do this. Now, he did he mentioned some other stuff as well. I can't remember, but this part right here, I really wanted to express to you. And I swear, he's the only one that pulled this up. And then when I was looking in the comments, then people were saying, oh, you know what, Brandon, you know what, I was wrong about you in the last, I apologize. I said, y'all are so weak-minded. That's why I tell people all the time, who's worse, the grifter or their supporters? Or their enablers, rather. Helene said, what made him quit being a cop? Helene, that's a question you're going to have to ask him, because I don't know if he's ever addressed it or not. And then even that, you got to worry about if he's going to be honest about what he tells you. Shout out to DSB again for gifting 5 additional memberships. I appreciate it. This part, and I bet you he ain't going to pull that up. And his is very public knowledge. So he pulled that up. Now I think I had something else in here as well. Like this is just a screenshot. I didn't like pull any like audio from that. I just wanted y'all to see this part right here. Okay, so right here, y'all, this part right here, I didn't peek this until now. I want y'all to look at the screen and tell me what's wrong with it. Just look at it. I don't want to reveal. I want to see if y'all use your eyes. I want y'all to really look at this before I talk about it. What do y'all see that's wrong with this screen? With the picture, rather. No, not a smile, Wallow. Not a smile. And then he said word grifting. Nope, not that. Shout out to DSB again for the 50. He says, keep up the amazing work, my warrior brother. That is insane, though, that he called that he's referring to the black guy and the wife at this point with the black guy as a grifter. That's rich coming from him. Not grifting. No, Anthony, not the little girl. Whoa, nope. Nope, not the mom. Come on, y'all. Really look at it. Not the Photoshop. Really look at it. I want I'm gonna give y'all a couple more guesses. Like, really look at the thumbnail. Look at the thumbnail. The white mom, no, his hairline. Nope, not the hairline. No, that's not Brandon's wife, Black Knight. That's the woman. That's Michelle Bishop. That's the one that went to the guy's porch. Oh, shout out to Miss Nisi for matching DSB. I appreciate it. I really do. Thank you. Thank you so much. Artie says they look alike. Nope. There it is. The spelling. This dude or whoever made this thumbnail misspelled exclusive. They spelled it exclusive. Exclusive. Now, how is it you got exclusive in the thumbnail, but you got the right spelling in the title? But look at the title, though. He says, we're going to pronounce it how he typed it. Exclusive interview. Mother exposes grifting neighbor. Because Brandon is trying to put out this, he was trying to put out this narrative that the guy, DaMichael Jenkins, was trying to make money off this or grifting, whatever. It made no sense. He said exclusive, quote unquote, white mom. Now, notice he like I said, the jokes just write themselves again. Why do we make everything about race? Quote unquote, white mom. Why did you have to put quote unquote, white mom? She is white and she is a mother. And you know this woman's name. He could have titled that with any other way without putting white mom if he had such a problem with race. Speaks out after being accused of racial profiling by woke. I'm sure it's woke is a long title because it's definitely woke. Probably woke grifting neighbor. Oh, sometimes all you can do is just laugh at this nonsense. But the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because he brought her on, Michelle Bishop and her husband, and they get in my like you see, it's a 35 and a half, like almost 36-minute interview. And he basically let that woman sit up there and lie to his face the entire time, and he ate it up because he was willing to believe everything that she said. And she said, thank you so much. You're like literally the only person that allowed us to have a platform to speak about this. She said that. Like, if y'all go watch it, if you do choose so, I don't mind if you don't. She said in so many words, thank you for being the only person that allowed us to come up here and speak about what happened that night. That's a sign. He also did a commentary going at Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco for Nightcap, because he was talking about how they were wrong for giving the black couple, a platform to sit up there and quote unquote lie about what happened. He said that in the screenshot from the that I previously showed before this one. He mentioned that in that video too. But yeah, but also, if y'all didn't know, Michelle Bishop and her husband have a business. I don't know if they have a business together or she has one for herself, but I think she has like a fitness company or something like that. This dude allowed her towards the end of the interview to plug her business. So that means she probably is going to get a whole bunch of new clientele because he allowed her to come up there and lie the way that she did, and he believed every word. And now she probably got some new clients after she was already losing clients for what she did. So now she might have new clients. And because Fakum has a huge platform, and because at the time when I got this screenshot at almost 200,000 views, she probably got a little boost. When I tell you this dude is extremely off code, believe me when I said that. Exactly, Jay the informant. She posted the info first, not the black guy. Because remember, she ran to her IG or wherever it was that we watched and was talking about what happened. Because she was trying to get ahead of it, so to speak. After the video went out there and went viral. Now, there's one last thing I want to show y'all on this, and then I'm going to drop the link for y'all to come up. All right, so this was the other one that I wanted to show you as well. When I tell you this dude went like out of the way to try to disparage this man, all because he got checked in his comments. I'm telling you, if people, if he did not get blasted in his comment section from the video we saw, he would not have gone out of his way to do all this extra stuff. And look at this again. Look at this again. He put exclusive again. How do you do that twice? How do you misspell the same word twice? Did you copy and paste it from one thumbnail to the next? Because the font looks the same. How in the world he put exclusive a second time? Yet Wallow J, like I tell you, he's a natural eye bucker. So this one, it says this was all planned, and this is exclusive. DaMichael Jenkins, former business partner, exposes his woke whatever. Now look at the views, 128,000 on that one, and the other one had 199. See, again, what do I tell you? The foundation of every grifter's grift is the degradation of Black people, especially Black Americans. So what did he have to do? Because remember, the other video did not get as many views as the other two screenshots that I just showed you, because they was going in. I can imagine what that dislike meter looked like. So he had to go, he clicks, views, engagement, money. He had to recoup for that huge loss, that huge L he took on that first video. And he did all of this within like a week. I think he put that first video out there because he was out of town, he really couldn't get to a place where he could do like his studio or whatever. But this video and the one where he interviewed Michelle Bishop and her husband all came out the same, like in the same week. As a matter of fact, I think they came out like 2 days apart. But he interviewed this guy who was apparently his former business partner, and this guy was going up there saying a whole bunch of stuff that didn't make a lick of sense. It's just someone that probably worked with DaMichael Jenkins. Maybe there was, I don't know what the issue could have been between the both of them or whatever the case may be, but hey, anyone he could find that could throw dirt on this man's name would do. And that was the last thing, y'all. Let me go ahead now and throw the link in the chat, and y'all can come on up and speak to this. As y'all know, I have the timer. Y'all love the timer. Y'all love it. All right, the first person we are bringing up to the stage is Wallow J. What's going on?
What's going on, Torian? What's going on, everybody in the chat? This eye buckle, Jesus Christ, he like you said, Torian, he buck his eyes like crazy. How about he go walk down the street with his son in an all-white neighborhood and watch what happens? How about you go do that, Brandon? I would love to see the reaction of them folks' face when they see this big old black man with his son walking around at night. They gonna think, oh, he's teaching how to rob us. We ain't messing with him like that. Go ahead, Brandon. Cause your dumb ass gets on my everlasting nerve. I don't. Oh, Jesus Christ, Torian. I don't promote violence, but I just want somebody just to squabble up with him. That's all. That's all I got to say. Somebody squabble up with him one day. I'm out. Be one.
Appreciate you coming up. And to add on to what Wallow said, that because I didn't want to interrupt him because they only had 2 minutes. You can tell he doesn't know his neighbors like that. The fact that he had to lean in and ask his wife, was there any other black people, any black people in the neighborhood, just knows. It shows you he does not know his neighbors like that, because how would you not know that? Why would you have to ask your wife that question? That just shows you he's just there. He loves the role he plays as the quote unquote safe Negro. Doc Spencer, when you find out the answer to that, you tell me. You tell me. All right. Oh, y'all know what time it is. Blowing up to the stage. Hurricane Niecy, what's going on?
Good evening, Torian family in the chat. The only reason why his wife is with him is because of the dick. Let's just be real. And the money for however long it lasts. But that stupid son of a bitch is going to get his. And I'll leave it right there. Have a good evening.
You too. All right, shout out to Miss Niecy for coming up, keeping it short and sweet and concise. All right, next coming to the stage, Church. What's going on? Church, are you there? All right. I think Church was having some technical issues. Maybe he'll come back up. Next up to him to the stage, we got Jonathan. What's going on?
What's going on, man? What a big, huge joke this big black wannabe white guy he is. Like doing an interview for to this woman to get her side of the story, but wouldn't even have the brains to interview the black couple so they can also explain their side of the story. But he said Shannon and Shad Ochocinco was wrong for giving them an interview. Why? How? You wrong for giving that white lady the interview, because you wanted the grip for her people. I'm just gonna say this: if this will be the same white lady that'll accuse him of something he didn't do, and his butt is in jail. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Also, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel myself, and it's going to be pretty much similar to yours, and sports, of course, because y'all done got me all motivated to do this stuff too. So I'll give you the details when I got everything set up.
Appreciate. All right, cool.
Peace, man. Be one.
All right, B1. Shout out to you. All right, next up we got Khalifa. What's going on?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Thank you for having me. It's my first time, so I just want to say this real quick. I don't understand why he's so comfortable when it comes to white people. Like, we all know he's a grifter and all, but like what Jonathan said earlier. So when Shannon Sharp and Ocho, it's okay. So it's not okay when they talk to them, but it was okay when you talk to the white woman. How?
I think your mic went out.
White, and she say so, and I don't get that. And what really upsets me the most is that it's our own people that really falls for this bullshit. Excuse my language.
Well, let me correct you right quick. I don't consider Brandon us. He is they at that point.
Oh yeah.
That's
You
what
ain't lying on that one.
because like I said, most people that I saw that was talking about this were not talking like him. He, like I said, he was legit the only person that platformed this woman and her husband to allow them to say that, and came at it from the standpoint that he did. Everybody else knew what it was. He was the only one willing to give her an out. So don't put that on all of everybody. That's people like himself.
Oh no, I know that. No, not all of us. I'm just saying those like specific ones who want validation. That's what I'm saying. But like, yeah, but yeah, it's messed up. But and then I don't know, like these grifters just stop stealing the word woke like that. That part what kills me the most. But it's pretty sad. But it's his loss. You know what I'm saying? We got each other. That's all that matters. But I'm gonna let my plan there. And thanks for having me. B1.
All right, B1. All right, shout out to Khalifa for coming up. Next up, Walla, it's crazy because that buzzer was coming up. Like he had like 6 seconds to spare. But next up, we got AW1. What's going on?
What's going on, Tori? How you been?
I've been good.
I also have to listen to that crap. Yeah, I mean, this guy, first off, he is they. He ain't one of us. I mean, he literally sounds like a scared liberal white woman. Would you agree?
He sounds like something. I'll leave it like that.
Well, let me rephrase that: scared liberal racist white woman. Because not all of them are bad. If I can be politically correct. But yeah, it's scared racist liberal white woman. That's what he sounded like to me. But yeah, this fool's a clown. And the audacity for him to call someone else a grifter, really?
That was the part right there that got me. I was like, you got a lot of nerve, but that just shows you right there he doesn't believe he's a grifter. I said, that's the pot. I said, pot me kettle.
And he feels that he made it because he lives around all these white folks.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, yeah, but whatever. Forget him. Keep doing your thing, Tory. B1.
B1. And that's the part that got me. Well, I said, you know what, Brandon? You should know what a grifter is, considering you've been grifting as long as we've known you or known of you. All right, let's see if we can try this again. Church, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good.
All right, I'm gonna be real quick because I know I don't want that buzzer to hit. Miss Niecy dog go crazy. So first and foremost, Brandon Tatum, he goes around and say he wasn't fired. And only people that go around saying that is people who were either fired or going to be fired. A lot of the times we know that police officers, they don't get fired if they get caught up doing some nonsense. They get the option to resign. And that's what he did. So I believe there's something that he did in that area to where he was going to be fired, but they gave him the option to resign. Also, I don't know why Brandon Tatum and the real estate brother, I don't know why he has a problem with the real estate brother, because to be honest with you, I see a comparison in both of them. Both of them like to let their ladies do the work. He turns and asks his girl, hey, babe, do you see any black guys in the neighborhood? She's, oh, just you. That was her little, white girl way of, taking a dig at him as her little puppet, her little Negro. And then the other dude, he was letting his wife go outside to deal with the popo. So to me, both of these cats are super questionable. But I don't understand why Brandon Tatum felt like it's okay for him to bring up this white woman and not bring up the black dude to tell his side of the story. Well, I do understand, because he's a grifter. I'll land with that, family. You have a blessed day. B1.
B1. Oh, we already know why he didn't bring him up, because he already internalized in his mind that the black guy was in the wrong. I can only imagine what that conversation would have went like if he had that dude up there either by himself or with his wife. He would have been up there with the stank face the whole time. He would have been shaking his head. He would have been so combative. When that white woman, and let me just paint the scene for y'all, because I know y'all aren't going to watch it. When Michelle Bishop and her husband were up there talking, he let them have the floor. They did most of the talking. He's sitting back. He's so comfortable. He's smiling and all types of stuff. He's so engaged. if DaMichael Jenkins and his wife was up there sitting up there in that same spot, and Brandon was there, he would have looked so uncomfortable. He would have been sitting up there like he had a perpetual wedgie. Just so uncomfortable, all cringed in the face. His face would have been all scrunched up like a ball of piece of paper. Think of how Jason Whitlock looks whenever he sits back with his head tilted down, like he's about to fall asleep on his C cups, and he looks like a melted milk dud. That's exactly how Fakum would have been if he had DaMichael Jenkins and his wife up there in the same spot as Michelle Bishop and her husband. All right, I think this might be the last person, and this is a fan favorite. Neo Panther, what's going on?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, good. I have some headphones on, so I was testing them to see if I can get them to work right. Shout out, fam. I'm glad to be with y'all once again. I talked to my uncle. You know, he's a Trump supporting coon. We've talked about him before. Mm-hmm. And I asked him, what does coon mean? Because he had been hearing me call him one for years. And he said, a coon is anybody who doesn't agree with what I said. I said, you're lying. A coon is a black man who sees the world through the eyes of white supremacists. Every time somebody white speaks up, he agrees with everything they say. And I remember when Malcolm said, they'll do anything to stay near him. They'll even move into his neighborhood and pay 3 times what the house is worth just to get near him. And then he'll brag about being I'm the only Negro in here. You're nothing but a house Negro. So he's the original Conan O'Brien. He's the person I even made up that expression for. Brandon Tatum is well aware that he's wrong. He doesn't care. If he can make some money off of our suffering, that's what he's going to do. And he's willing to pretend that he doesn't understand what we're saying. He understands everything we're saying just fine, just like white people do. A lot of them are dirt stupid. They know very well that they're wrong. They just don't care. So when you know you're dealing with a bunch of sociopaths, you act accordingly. The only way you're going to get people like that straight is to defeat them, remove them, take away their power, or go to war with them. I can't take 5 seconds to listen to that Sambo talk. I don't know how in the world you watch some videos, because when I listen to him, my blood boils so much I have to turn it off. I'm
gonna be honest with you. I didn't even watch this video. I just grabbed it, cut out the parts where he was looking at the video, and just downloaded it. And this is actually my first time listening to it in full, literally in full the way that I did. Well, I take that back. I listened to it one time because that's how I knew what he was going to say towards the end at his wife. One time. This is literally the second time. When I'm done with this, I'm deleting the video. I don't want that. I don't want that thing clogging up. I don't want this thing clogging up my files. So it's going to be gone after, when this live is over. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to delete it.
Samboism is a serious disease. I watched them. I used to go to a private school until I was in 3rd grade, and I was around nothing but white people all the time when I was a kid. And I picked up on Samboism when I was 3 years old, and I picked up on it. I remember it clear as day. I picked up on it. I knew something was wrong with these people. I watched them change their body language. They copy I can look at a picture of a black person smiling and tell that they grew up around nothing but white people. I don't have to hear their voice. I don't have to see their body language. I can just see it in the picture. There's a sister I used to follow on Instagram named Crayon Sandwich. I ain't gonna say no names. And she was just as white as what these black men do is they get a job at IBM and move to a white neighborhood. And then they raise their kids to not see color. And then the next thing you know, your daughter's married to a white guy, like Jamie Foxx just walked his daughter down the aisle with a white guy. I'm telling you, man, that coonery it's a serious problem. Those jokers really do desperately want to be white. Man, before I get started, man, I'm gonna leave it right there. I know you had that buzzer thing going on, so I'm done.
Appreciate you. Actually, Neil, at the request of a few people in the chat, because they knew how you were, they didn't want me to press the buzz on you. Otherwise, it would have been went off. But I appreciate you coming up. Next person we bringing up is Jay the Informant.
Yo, what's going on, Torian? How you doing?
What's going on?
So I want to say this, man. First of all, she's the one that linked it out first. She jumped on Instagram, I think, the same night. So the whole narrative they tried to put out about him trying to put it out to make her look racist, she put it out first. Then he came back to, pretty much just get the story right. What she did was kind of stupid, running away, screaming for help. She could have just ran away without screaming for help, or she should have never been there to begin with. Because if you think you're that vulnerable in that safe neighborhood, there's something really wrong with you. So I think that it was overreaction by her. And Furthermore, she started talking over him when they interacted the second time, talking about you just have to see it from my point, and that kind of really bust my bubble. Just hearing her say that, like she was in control, like it was her decision what was right and wrong. So she, to me, she had no respect. On top of that, on top of having no respect, she handled the situation wrong. I believe he handled it right. I'm on their side. I have no problem with Ocho Cinco and them having the black couple on, and what's his dude name? Officer Tatum, Officer Tater Tots. He shouldn't have no issue with them having them on too. He's a coon. He's a buffoon. He's just one of the, I guess, yes about Negroes. What they say on Candyland. Don't treat him like the rest of the N words because he's not like the rest of the N words. He's different, and that's what he wants to be seen as. And that's all I gotta say.
All right, appreciate you coming up. All right, shout out to Jay the informant. That's why I said I can only imagine with the mindset that Brandon has. I can only imagine what he, in particular, he is teaching his kids. I don't have to guess when it comes to the wife. The fact that she's married to this dude and she knows of his mindset, she knows she picked the right one, or got the right one. But what is he teaching his kids is the question. And with how he's talking right here, I can just about guess what he's teaching them. And I would probably be spot on. But anyway, y'all, I think that was the last person to come up and speak. Shout out to everyone that came through. Shout out to Panther Strike, Doc Spencer for becoming members of the channel. Shout out to DSB for gifting the memberships. Shout out to Church for being a member for 7 months. Shout out to DSB and Miss Nisi for the super chat. I greatly appreciate it. So we will be back on here tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to have a midday live. And the reason why it's midday is because I won't be available to do it at 6. So it's going to be a midday live tomorrow, and we're also going to, of course, have the 10 a.m. premiere video as well. So make sure to be back here tomorrow because I know y'all going to have a lot to say about this particular topic, and I can't wait to see what y'all have to say about it. But with that being said, y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. Be safe, be warm, and most importantly, be one.